Sometimes how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with. That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're Oreo cookie, white in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro, I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I would slap you.
Go ahead, make my day.
Black as the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Welcome to the third hour of the show. Very interesting night last night, folks. Few things that I was a little surprised about and didn't think would not happen, or it just didn't occur to me. I thought that Joe Biden was rude, immature, afraid, unwise, and silly. I really did. Joe Biden did exactly what liberals do in debates. They try to prevent the truth from getting out, so they interrupt, they shout you down, they speak over you, they make funny faces, they phony laughs, phony smiles, and that's exactly what Joe Biden did. He showed a lack of respect for Paul Ryan, and so, in my opinion, Biden lost the debate. It was, I want to call it shameless, but what else do you expect from the Democrats? Liberal Democrats, from Barack Hussein Obama on down. I mean, I didn't know what to expect last night, but I didn't expect Joe Biden to act that way. But that's who he is. That's what the Democratic Party is all about. We're going to be talking to you and Patrick Rooney here in a moment. I want to first play for you a soundbite from last night's debate. Ryan on Libya.
We mourn the loss of these 4 Americans who were murdered. When you take a look at what has happened just in the last few weeks, they sent the UN ambassador out to say that this was because of a protest and a YouTube video. It took the president 2 weeks to acknowledge that this was a terrorist attack. He went to the UN, and in his speech at the UN, he said 6 times he talked about the YouTube video. Look, if we're hit by terrorists, we're going to call it for what it is, a terrorist attack. Our ambassador in Paris has a Marine detachment guarding him. Shouldn't we have a Marine detachment guarding our ambassador in Benghazi, a place where we knew that there was an al-Qaeda cell with arms? This is becoming more troubling by the day. They first blamed the YouTube video. Now they're trying to blame the Romney-Ryan ticket for making this an issue.
Who would you rather have watching over your country, Ryan or Joe Biden? Joe Biden throws the intelligence community under the bus on Libya last night.
Let me go back to Libya. What were you first told about the attack? Why were people talking about protests? When people in the consulate first saw armed men attacking with guns, there were no protesters.
Because
why did that go on for
what
weeks?
We were told by the intelligence community. The intelligence community told us that. As they learned more facts about exactly what happened, they changed their assessment.
Amazing.
That's why there's also an investigation headed by Tom Pickering, a leading diplomat from the Reagan years, who is doing an investigation as to whether or not there are any lapses, what the lapses were, so that they will never happen again.
And they wanted more security there.
Well, we weren't told they wanted more security again. We did not know they wanted more security again.
Joe Biden is lying. I bet you the intelligence community is just outraged about what he said last night. Patrick is normally on Tuesdays behind the headlines in the third hour. He is one of the smartest white men on this side of heaven, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Patrick, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Jesse.
And you say?
Joe Biden is a pig.
Pig.
And a liar.
And a liar. I didn't know you could be both at the same time.
If you're a Democratic voter and you think this guy is good, this guy's standing up for me, I know everything I need to know about you. And this is a problem with America today. A lot of Americans today. A lot of Americans are good and decent people, and they're getting better. A lot of Americans are just falling off the cliff. And their representative, their David, so to speak, is Joe Biden. I mean, what does that say? Joe Biden, what we saw last night is Chicago-style debate. It's exactly what it was. It's a Chicago-style debate. His whole mission was to try to throw Paul Ryan off his game by mugging, laughing, interrupting. The debate moderator, Raditz, What a disgrace.
And I was thinking,
this woman should have her media card checked at the door and just say, you're out of here.
Yeah, go and get a free cell phone. Get on welfare.
How do you allow, you have what are the rules for then? Why even have rules for a debate if you don't even follow them at all? This guy gets 2 minutes, this guy gets 2 minutes, blah, blah, blah. You can follow up. Paul Ryan starts to speak, and this guy just starts interrupting from the get-go.
And she just sat there like a knot on a log.
She didn't. In fact, if anything, when Joe Biden interrupted, she will then take that and use that as, oh, really? And then she'll throw another question at Paul Ryan. Well, like, what about this? What about the fact he just interrupted and I'm supposed to have 2 minutes? So she was a disgrace.
I now realize why Obama chose Joe Biden as his VP, because he can control Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. He can. He have absolutely control over him. And I'm wondering, did Joe have that Chicago-style political mind before Obama? Was he like this before Obama came in?
I mean, I'm not
because he's been there for a long time.
I know a lot about Joe Biden's past, but to some extent, I mean, he was known as what we know him as, off the cuff, says crazy things.
He's always been that way.
Laugh at him. Yeah, I've seen a meanness in him when he debated Sarah Palin 4 years ago. Right. You could see some of that meanness. Nothing like this. He was instructed to do this by Obama.
Because he looked too weak to have a Chicago-style personality. I could see it being mean, and cunning. Yeah. But he doesn't seem like the guy that would have the Chicago-style personality.
But the problem is, right, I understand what you're saying. He suffered a lot by people. They're going to make fun of him. They're going to do commercials about him, and that's good. And a lot of people thought that he lost. Some thought that he won. The network people thought he won, of course. A lot of people thought he lost. The problem is, from our perspective, being conservative, and from the Republicans' perspective, you can't allow this to even go on. You shouldn't be allowed it to go on.
Right.
Now, Mitt Romney, you want to have the kind of debate that Mitt Romney had, where everybody knows you won, where liberals are spitting down their chest and going crazy and basically having their heads explode like Chrissy Matthews. I wasn't going to say Chrissy, but I can't help it. Like Chrissy Matthews, you want to have their heads explode. I didn't see liberal heads exploding yesterday. If anything, there's more frustration on our side. Joe Biden was expected to lose.
Were you surprised when Joe Biden threw the intelligence community under the bus, putting their reputation on the line like that? Were you surprised? The vice president doing that?
Not really.
Really?
I think he's like between a rock and a hard place. I mean, they really, really messed up on Libya. I've been reporting this for 3 weeks, and the media's starting to get to it. Some of the conservative people are reporting it. It's a mess. A murder took place, which the White House is responsible for. I would have liked to seen Paul Ryan go even harder on this Libya thing, because this is a complete outrage what they did in Libya. I mean, there's dead Americans without getting any answers from their government. They're being railroaded, and it's outrageous.
If President Bush had done something like this, it would be an outright scandal.
It is a scandal.
Everybody would be talking about it. The media would be all over it. But because it's the fallen Messiah, it's breaking news. It's happening. More and more is coming out, but not in the way it would have happened had President Bush been in office.
We have to assume the Martha Radishes of this world are not going to be on our side. The
White House records revealed that the moderator, the one last night, visited Vice President Joe Biden at his office residence on March 26, 2012. Right. So maybe they had planned this out together. I asked you about Joe Biden Paul Ryan when I come back, and then we'll take some calls.
Can't get enough of your love, baby. Girl, I don't know why.
Listen, hold up, I don't can't handle it. Listen, hold up, I don't get right to it. Ain't ready,
Patrick.
Yes.
Before I go to the callers, what did you think about Paul Ryan's performance last night?
Well, technically it was fine, but it's funny. He has a a speech pattern that he does. He's a little bit. He'll talk and then he'll pause. So he's kind of easy to interrupt in a certain way.
Yeah.
Because he speaks and he pauses and then says something. So when someone pauses, you can jump on it. But that aside, I think he generally did okay technically, but there's no way, and I realize this as a conservative, as an American, that we're dealing with people who, as you would say, hate the truth. And their purpose is they don't want to let you say anything. They don't care about the rules of debate.
Yeah.
They don't care about the rules of civil society. They just want to roll you over. It's like Barack Obama said, when you're in don't bring a knife to a gunfight. And this is their style. I think to some way it works against them. But I think also Americans want to see conservatives stand up and put these people in their place. And Paul Ryan did that to a little extent. Should have done it much more. At some point, you just need to turn to this guy, and say, listen, you've been talking the whole time. You've got to shut up.
What's wrong with you?
You've got to shut up at a certain point and let me talk.
Yeah.
Just go after these people and just expose them for what they are. And, it's like we have these Marcus of Queensberry boxing rules. When someone's trying to, slit your throat in an alley somewhere, you can't just lace up the gloves and then, punch them in the midsection. You got to go for the jugular.
Go for it.
I hope Mitt Romney understands that but Obama is going to come in trying to cut and slash and say all sorts of crazy stuff. He's going to talk about the 47%. What do you mean by the 47%? How do you pay for your tax cuts? And he's going to try to interrupt and act crazy. I think Obama, though, is setting himself up. He's in great danger because he's a very angry guy. I saw an interview with him yesterday when, I forgot, Diane Sawyer, I think it was interviewing him.
Yes.
She started asking him questions and actually wouldn't let go. It's great. I was looking at the video with Andre yesterday, and he was getting so angry. His face was getting red and little spots all over his face. He did not want to be questioned, and the more she questioned him, he almost exploded. I thought the guy was just going to lose it on the stage.
Obama's really, really emotionally weak. He's real timid and soft, and any little pressure makes him want to cry.
Well, he's got a tremendous amount of rage right under his skin, and Romney just realized that and just poke him and poke him and poke him and let people see what an angry, rageful man this is who's supposed to be the president of the United States. If he goes after Romney like that as the president, I hope he does that.
This is next Tuesday.
I really hope he does.
Coming up next Tuesday.
I can't wait.
Back in a moment, folks. Straight to the phones.